trading will expose you for who you are. And if you don't know who you are, it will expose you emotionally, physically, spiritually. Like it will break you down. And but if you work it the right way, it'll build you right back up.
Welcome to the Unknown Options, the place where we explore the unknown options. My name is Will, and today have with us Joseph, ex manufacturing engineer turned full time trader. Joseph, it's great to have you here. Your journey
Hey.
is important, so you want to highlight the good, the bad, and ugly of your journey. Or for someone who might not know, what is manufacturing engineering?
Okay, so basically, um, so my first job was at an aerospace company. I won't say the name, uh, but so they hired me as a manufacturing engineer. I handled several different projects for like big companies. Basically, what I did as a manufacturing engineer was I programmed 13 laser abrasion machines, which basically like it lasers holes in components or parts that either go into like airplanes, helicopters, I think basically, or like wind turbines and stuff like that. Manufacturing engineers, they do a lot, man. They it's project management, you know, uh, a lot of you know, is data driven, um, a lot of tests, a lot of analysis, you know, what else? It's a lot. Manufacturing engineers, they hold a lot on their plate, man. Without us, projects don't get done, things don't get built, basically.
Perfect. Okay, awesome. How did you get started in becoming a manufacturing engineer?
So, it's funny because I started in high school where I took this program, which in high school I didn't really know what I wanted to do. Like I was a screw up and had good grades. I graduated with like a 2.4, bro.
Oh
Trash.
man,
Okay,
sheesh.
so I didn't get accepted into anywhere. But yeah, I started engineering, CPCC, transferred to UNCC. I met a friend through our senior project that we needed to pass to graduate at UNCC, and he just saw how hard I worked, man, and how driven I was. So he provided me with the opportunity to join where he was. He actually was the person who interviewed me alongside with his boss, and he was able to get me the job, man. And without him, I wouldn't be where I am today. So shout out Albert Sanchez if you ever watch this. But yeah, he introduced me to like the actual real world on out there in the field, being an engineer. He was the one that got me into it.
Okay. What was your major like engineering at UNC Charlotte and TP?
Yeah, so no, I didn't declare as anything as CP because I only went there for a semester. I got a 4.0 and I transferred. That's all they want to see to transfer over to UNCC. So I entered into mechanical engineering at first, but like, all that physics, that quantum physics, I didn't want to do that hydraulics or any of that like complicated math. I love math and physics, but not that much, like
Yeah.
I barely got past physics too, and that like I'm gonna be honest, that was like one of the hardest classes I've ever taken at UCC, like in my life.
Mm.
Like you could ask Bokar, and
Yeah.
so I like midway I transferred to systems engineering only because like it already had like all the credits I needed, so it's not like I had to like add on more time to graduate. Like I could like transfer over and still be on track to like finish a program within the time that they want you to,
Yeah.
and so yeah, I got my bachelor's degree in systems engineering. So that's what kind of like, and just to tell you a little bit about it, systems engineering is like a umbrella, bro. It
Mm.
involves like project management, data analysis, manufacturing engineering. Like it's like a way of thinking. Like it's a concept to like help businesses run smoother and like have a better operating system. Avoid bottlenecks. You know, we provide flow to companies basically.
Okay. So that systems engineer, is it not related to like network engineering? Because I know like at my job they call like I guess the for the sales like salespeople, then they have the counterpart. They call them systems engineers. That's not the systems engineer you're talking about. You're talking about like kind of like operational kind of. Or
It is the same thing in a sense, man. Like, you said network engineering.
yeah, like they deal with like I guess just the net like firewalls and
Bro, we
like
do that too, bro. Systems
okay,
engineers, we
okay,
do everything, honestly. Like,
okay,
besides like, that architect and like the civil part of engineering, but like,
yeah,
best be prepared. You'll be out there fixing things. You'll be out there actually like, looking at people's like companies' databases and like trying to, build power queries to help their operating system work more fluently. And it's a lot that we do, bro. It's a vast spectrum of skills, you know.
got you.
Mhm.
Okay, that makes sense. Well, I know I introduced you as an ex manufacturing engineer.
Mhm.
What prompted you to I guess retire early retirement from engineering into becoming a full time trader? And then yeah,
So, my family, we didn't grow up to be, you know, rich. Like my family's very poor. Um,
yeah,
we come from the DR. I hail from the DR, Dominican Republic, and I will tell you that, like, my family has had to work very hard for where they had to, like, for where they wanted to go, basically. So
mhm,
my whole life has like transpired to me working hard as well at a very young age. Cause like, my dad, he was a chef and he worked his butt off. Cause chefs, they have a very, that's like a whole different world. And I used to be a chef, you know what I'm saying? So I know like the kitchen life wasn't for me.
yeah,
The engineering thing wasn't for me only because due to the fact that I've been working so hard for so long.
yeah,
And yeah, like you can start working here like what, 15, 16
yeah,
back in the day.
yeah,
Um, so what, I'm 20, you know, 27 turning 28. So I've been working, my butt off for already 10 years. So it's like,
yeah,
do I really want to continue to like work for someone else and, build their wealth? Like, because at the end of the day, we only get like not even a percentage of what, these companies are making, like way less than that. So do
definitely,
I want that small percentage or do I want to detach myself from the system that I have like got brought into and create my own wealth and create my own foundation to build things on. And you have to start somewhere, right?
definitely,
So, um, a few things got me into like trading, but like really the main thing was I wanted to create that freedom and, one day provide for my family because, working a job your whole life, and at least in my opinion, depending on where you go, like if you climb the ladder, CEO, big money, yeah, you can you can leave
yeah,
your kids with a lot of stuff,
yeah,
but a lot of us don't make it there.
yeah,
So
no
if
for
you
sure,
want to build that wealth, unfortunately, you can't just work your career path. You have to like find different sources of passive income so that you don't have to work as hard. And I want to be one day where, like I said, I told you guys I spilled the beans. I'm 27, but I want to say by at least like 35, 40, I'm just sitting back managing all my projects that I have going on. And, I
definitely.
could just sit back and not be as involved, like how these big CEOs do. They just, I don't know exactly what all they do, but I know they send a lot of emails out and talking to very powerful people. You know what I'm saying?
100%. That's all it
So
is.
that's what I
It's just
want to do.
maintaining.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. It's just maintaining. What is for someone that's never interacted with like I guess the stock market? What is trading? What's trading to you?
Okay. So, and this is just me being blunt honest. Trading is an algorithm, right? It's a system. It's a money machine. It's a way people transfer wealth, right? So for me, trading is an animal. Okay, it's a beast. It is the beast because it involves money, right?
Yeah,
Anything that runs the world involves what I just said, the B word. So,
yeah,
you know, it trading will expose you for who you are. And if you don't know who you are, it will expose you emotionally, physically, spiritually. Like it will break you down. And but if you work it the right way, it'll build you right back up. So trading to me at least, and for what my mission is in life, trading can provide you that financial freedom if you know what you're doing.
Okay,
That's what trading is to me.
I like that answer.
Yeah.
Trading is like, to me, it's like it's more than a career. It's more than a
Mm.
job. Like
Yeah.
it's tied to you. And you had a good point at the end. Like you said, if you can like control it, how did you learn to trade?
So I took it upon myself to like, just dive into it. Um, I remember when we got to COVID lows, I had bought a few like Starbucks, ExxonMobil, and it was all like pretty cheap because I was looking at like previous price you know points within their time frame, and I was like, oh, this is pretty cheap right now. And I bought a few stocks of that, and as we know, we had the most historic bull run we've ever had, bro. Like we
Yeah,
went to COVID lows and we just kept running.
yeah,
Like we're obviously correcting ourselves now. And as you can see, with the market today, is it it's iffy where it's gonna go, but I just dove into it and I watched a few YouTube videos, but like I just really just said F it, man. Like let's see where this
yeah,
goes. You know.
yeah. Just trial and error.
I mean, listen, man. You have to start somewhere, and there's that famous saying, hey, scare money doesn't make money, and that's very true because
Facts.
unless you put your neck out there, you're not gonna know. Yeah, you're gonna
Yeah.
get your head chopped off a few times, but luckily for us, it's just trading. It's not real life. So you
Facts,
can put your
facts.
head.
I like that. He said it's trading is not. You're right. You're right. It's just money, and it's like I know one thing that I've always heard from a lot of traders is like you can't be emotionally attached to like your money. Is that something that's true to you?
You know what, man? And it's funny because we've had a conversation prior to this,
Yeah.
but I'm gonna be honest. The answer to life itself is to be able to let go of things. Like, ultimately for us to flow like how we should as human beings, like not only that, but we are beings, right? So we hold a lot
Yeah.
of spiritual wealth that if we can tap into, we're a lot stronger than we think. So
Yeah.
one of the things that I had to learn in life in general is that, like, the more you get attached to something, the more you prevent yourself from elevating to that
Yeah.
higher level. Because if you are too attached, like to like, let's say for example, my situation, I don't mind saying it, but like, I was recently, in an accident where this person put me in a bad situation. And it's up to
Yeah.
me to either detach from that and accept it and, forgive that person or stay attached to it and let it weigh me down forever. Cause I have that kind of stuff can control you. So like
Okay.
once you achieve that level of being able to detach yourself from all things, then you will reach
Yeah.
that your higher self. So when it comes to money, especially, like, you have to understand that, and it's the reality of things. We pay things for it. We have to pay our mortgages, our bills, and stuff like that. But there's no real value to it. It's just
Yeah.
paper with ink
Yeah.
on it. So like, why would you get attached to it?
Yeah.
Like I would be more attached to gold because I mean, at least with gold, like you could trade it, actually trade it. Like people still
Yeah.
want gold. These
Yeah.
banks are backed by gold, so it's like you know
100%.
that's what I would be attached to if anything. But like that's still just a physical thing. So like money is nothing, man. So why not play with it and see if you can make your family, or give your family a better opportunity? You know what I mean?
I agree. Let me play. I don't like saying this, but let me play
Devil's
devil's
advocate.
advocate.
Yeah, yeah.
I've never played devil's advocate, but let me play devil's advocate.
I like
What
that.
about the what about the people? I guess that they don't. I guess people like you said, like you didn't your family you didn't grow up with a lot of money. I guess how do people get out of the like the I wouldn't say call it a poor
The
mindset, maybe a
slums.
poverty mindset. Yeah, honestly, like
Yeah.
so they attach value to money because like they've never had a lot. How does one elevate themselves to like understanding money's a tool, but money should not be loved. Money should not be adored. Money should be used. How would you position yourself to someone to give them that message, deliver them that message?
You know, um, just based off my experience here, living here and being alive, is that, you know, one's journey, it really, you'll only understand it and find the true meaning of things once you experience it. Like, we as kids, we grew up, our moms would tell us all the time, like, hey, don't do this, don't do that.
Yeah.
It's only up until you actually go through these experiences, you be like, damn, my mom was right. Or like, you know what I'm saying? So like it's the same concept. Like, okay, this person may have grown up in poverty. They have to find their way to be able to, access that money, although they don't have it, and then understand later on that, like, the bigger picture. So it's like I can't really, you know, guide anyone to understanding that there's no real value to money unless they know themselves through experiences that, there really isn't.
Definitely.
And it's the truth. Like, the truth is hidden in plain sight. You know what I'm saying? Like,
100%.
so, it's up to us to break out these walls that we're in and
Yeah.
to see that, there is nothing really that holds that much value. It's all, try to control us to pay our bills on time,
100%, or maybe you'll be outside sleeping. It's
Yeah,
it's I think people gotta take, like you said, risk, and they have to take risk early. Like
you
the
have
earlier, the
to.
better.
And that's why I'm doing it because if I'm gonna be honest, I don't care how old I am. I don't care if I'm 40, 50, 60. I'm always gonna take a risk. I don't care. Like, and the type
Yeah,
of person I am,
yeah,
and excuse me, and that's why I would like to say that I'm blessed to have had a family that didn't have a lot of money.
yeah.
Because unfortunately, I mean, the reality of it is, I mean, look at it like this, man. Like, if I lose everything that I have, I'm gonna fight to
Facts.
get all my stuff back.
Hundred
You
percent.
know, like,
Hundred
and
percent.
anyone would.
Hundred
So
percent.
I've been blessed to be able to be in that, like, to know what a poor lifestyle is, because a lot of people haven't even seen that. They don't know what that
Yeah,
is. A third
yeah.
world country is beautiful, but like behind all them curtains and stuff like that, it's a struggle, man. I've
I
seen
would
that.
I would never forget. I've been out of country one time, and we went to Jamaica. Me, my mom, and my brothers, and I was like 16. And I remember like we got out the airport, and like it was literally it was like dystopic. It was like on the right hand side was a fence, and like you looked up the mountain. It was like just like the slums just stacked up on the mountain, like all the way up the mountain. And then to the left was like a resort, and it was gated. And, like you saw the ocean, and then like you saw, and there were like people lined up on the fence, like with like bowls and stuff, like screaming like, "Hey, like we want money, like give us money and stuff." Then you like look to the left, and it's like the resort. But like look to the right, and it's like people with no clothes on, like living in slums. You know, there's no electricity, nothing, and it's like it's just crazy. It's like that level of poverty is like America has like extreme levels of poverty, but like nothing like a third world country yet.
Let me ask you something. Do people, like, have you stated where you're from and where you're doing this at?
No, I don't think I ever have.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
All right. I just wanted to. Well, I'm just gonna say it like this. Here in the United States, you see that all the time, my brother. You go to, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not gonna say where, but like you can go uptown or like close to it, and you see the hood,
Oh
and
yeah,
you
yeah,
see
yeah,
the
yeah.
mansions, and they're like right across the street from each other. So it's literally almost the same thing.
Yeah, I think I just feel like there's more. Like it's like I just feel like the volume of it is bigger. But you're definitely right. Like it's like I mean it's just gentrification. It's
Yeah.
gentrification, honestly. But honestly, like what I thought you were referring to like the camp, like the homeless people at first,
Oh,
like
yeah.
the
But
shanty
that too.
towns. Yeah, that's almost worse in my opinion because they have no like permanent shelter. At least like people
Yeah.
in like the hood, they have like shelter if you call it that. Like I mean, like
Yeah.
it's just a box, but at least they can like. I guess brave the weather for the most part. I mean, not the winter, but like it's I mean, I mean going a little off topic, but I think it's definitely spiraling that way. I think it's going to keep getting worse and worse.
I
But
think
it's
so too,
definitely
man.
spiraling. Yeah. Disparity of wealth. But I mean, the stock market can help with that. The stock market can help with that. Um, how can somebody be? I think I know the answer, but how can somebody learn to become a full time trader? What would you recommend to them to do?
What I would recommend is, I feel like social media these days, it is smart, man. I'm gonna be honest, like a lot of the stuff they post about, like, and that's the only way you're gonna get exposed to. Like people, generally, like unless you're not looking at social media or the news or something like that, you're not gonna really get exposed to the stock market like that. Like through your jobs, 401ks, but like you're not managing your money. You're just putting in this in like a fund and letting it grow however much it's gonna grow. But
Yeah,
people don't get exposed to it. And the only way that they do is through social media. So they might be scrolling through their timeline or whatever, and they might see a video like, oh, I made X amount, $30,000 or like $500 today, and like they'll show you like all the different methods they use, and it's all full of crap, man. I'm gonna be honest. It's genius though, because what do you do? Like someone that like okay, yeah, that has a little bit of money, they don't know what to do with it. Oh, they see a video. Oh man, I may want to start trading, and they
yeah,
promote their like little groups and stuff like that, like their Discord groups or like their paid things to like, oh, I'll teach you, I'll show you the way. You know,
yeah,
I say f that, brother. Like and
yeah,
sister, what I'm saying? I'm talking to the whole crowd out here, whoever gonna see this video. I would
yeah,
honestly say, look it up, learn about it, learn what it is, learn that it's just algorithms, learn that it's just data driven, learn that it's news driven, learn that there's a lot of variables that control the market, learn that it's big money, this big institutions, it's hedge funds, it's not retail traders. Retail traders has an impact on it, but like not on big like large caps, like smaller caps, yeah, like the whole AMC thing that like that's what
yeah.
really like messed up the whole market. I'm gonna be honest with you. AMC and what are one they were pushing for? GameStop.
GameStop.
Yeah,
Yeah.
bro, that honestly was like a once in a lifetime thing. And I've seen it happen another time with like another small cap. I think it was like
Mhm.
a Chinese stock or something very similar where like from like it opened and I think it was at like it's HKD, I think the ticker symbol. It opened at $40 and it ran all the way to 2000
In one
in
day.
in a couple days, in a span of like I want to say max a week. So if you would have just threw in like what $1,000, you'd be a millionaire, bro. But that's once in a lifetime things because like you know I feel like those events have screwed the mindsets of the people. So
Mhm.
if you want to be a trader, you need to know who you are as a person. You need to
Yeah.
know how greedy you can be. You need to know how emotional you are as a person. Because I'm telling you, greed kills. My friend Albert Sanchez, I'm gonna keep shouting him out. He said, uh, a pig gets fed and a hog gets slaughtered. Now what does that mean? The pig, nice, slim, little pig, you know, you're gonna keep making your money, you're gonna keep growing, but when you get too attached to that and you get fed, you get real fat, what do? They're gonna cut you up and they're gonna feed you to the people. And that's what they do in the stock market. They allow you to think that these things are going to continue to go up when it's not. Like when you're in your positions and you're trading and you've made a good trade, you gotta learn that you have to take as you go and set your stop losses so that like when it does backfire on you, because stocks just don't go up. They go down and they can go down very fast. The one thing I've had to realize is that, you know, hedge funds, institutions, big money, they don't care about your feelings. Okay, they don't care about your little $100,000 that you put in the market at the current time that you're trading with it. They'll take all that away very quickly, especially depending on what you're trading. Because we
Yeah.
didn't even talk about what I trade. So I specifically trade options.
Yeah.
So basically, what options is, it's a it's allowing you to purchase with one contract 100 shares of that specific ticker or symbol that you're trading. So like, you know, one contract could equal 100 shares of Tesla. So you do the math on that, like, that this is allowing people that don't have that much money the opportunity to, like, you know, 2000x, 3000x their money depending on how much the stock goes up. Because, 100 shares, you do the math on that. Like, I mean, at one point when Tesla was trading at $1,000, 100 shares of that is 100, what is that? 100K, right?
100, yeah, 100, yep, 100 for that, yeah.
100,000. You to buy 100 shares of Tesla, you need to have 100K capital. So, um, options allows you, bro. You froze up on my end, by the way, a little
Froze
bit.
up.
Yeah, you may
You
have to
good?
edit that. Okay. So basically, it's allowing you to, buy that amount of shares, and it's giving you. It's basically time driven, basically. So, depending on what strike and what how far out you purchase it, because you can buy it weekly and months, even months out in it, at a time.
Okay.
So let's say, for example, today's the 20th, and I choose to buy a 0 day contract. That means that that same day, this contract will expire worthless unless you execute a trade. So if you bought these options at $100, by the end of the day, it will be $0. So if you threw in $100,000 into a 0 day, you could lose all that money if you hold on to it and you think that, like, because it will expire worthless. So, like, you know that's even more of a risk that I'm taking dealing with options, but that's where the real money is.
Yeah.
Like, you don't need that much um to 10x your money. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that's another thing, and then that's what these institutions and hedge funds, they're trading options because they know that's where the money is. They're not trading shares, they're trading options. So that's what controls the market, really. And you got to know where they're positioned at as well. Like, um, these hedge funds, they're pouring in billions of dollars in positions, and they're going to protect theirs. So it doesn't matter what, or what indicator you use, or what RSI or MACD, or your moving averages. Like, institutions and hedge funds, they don't care about any of that stuff. I personally seen a RSI is basically an oversold and overbought indicator.
Yeah.
And, people technically, like, oh yeah, if it hits 70, it's oversold, and if it's I mean overbought, and if goes below 30, then it's oversold. Well, let me tell you something. Depending on the situation, I've seen RSIs go up to like almost 100 maxed out and like almost zero. So like, these institutions can keep raising the price if they want to, or keep continue to sell off until they please. So it's like, none of that
Mm.
really matters. Don't fall for the BS. You know, Find your edge. And what I mean by edge is, like, these markets, they trade differently throughout all these cycles. Like, the COVID market is not the same as this market today. Like, I want to say every month I feel like the market changes because of, like, all this stuff going on, like the war with Russia, inflation, you know, federal Jerome Powell, which I don't know if too many of you guys know, but he is the head of the Fed, and he makes a lot of these decisions, so he has a lot of impact on the market. This man can have the market drop. I've seen the market drop at least like 4 or 5% after he spoke, like, had his speech, and decided if they're going to continue to raise the interest rates, or they're going to pause. Or so you have to really, like, look into this stuff
Yeah.
and understand that they don't care about what you use, and be very aware of what news is going to be out there, what data is going to be announced on what day, you know who's speaking, what Fed chair, whoever that's in the Federal Reserve, who has a speech that day. You have to be aware of a lot of things. If President Biden is having a speech,
Yeah.
all that stuff matters. So be prepared to know about everything that's going on in the world, because that has an impact on the stock market.
I like that. That was like an all encompassing answer, honestly. And I think a lot of people gonna get a lot of value from that, honestly. I know I did. So we're gonna go to the not so speed round. It's gonna
Yeah.
be four questions that, like, I mean, Can you can answer them quick if you want. If you don't, if you want to answer them long winded, you can too. The first one is, what does a world without trading look like?
That's deep, brother. What would a world without trading be? Well, I mean, since there's been gold or like whatever currency or what food, you know, people were trading, livestock, their crops, gold, silver. So a world without trading is like it's at a standstill. At least with how we operate today as a society. Like, if we were to go back to the Stone Ages, then it really, well, it wouldn't have much of an impact. But like we would still have to trade to get what we need, or or find our way to find our food. But other than that, like, I just see it as a standstill. This world we live in is too driven on technology, too driven on trading different currencies. That is how some societies thrive.
I like that.
I don't see much at all, to be honest. That's a great question though.
I like it. I like it. No, it's the truth. It's the truth. The second question is, are you underpaid or overpaid as a trader?
Okay, so like that's kind of like the beauty behind trading is that like you create your own income. So like if you
Okay.
want to pay yourself you know, $200 a week or, you know, 10 grand a month. Like it's up to you. So like, I mean, personally, me, like every day I try to take something out because obviously I have bills I have to pay.
Yeah.
But I regulate on how much, because I mean, like when I was doing like really good, um, you know, 10K a month, maybe more.
Yeah.
But, um, you know, things have changed obviously. So it just depends, really, man. It's up to you. You decide on your income and what you want to come, take out of it. Because you can let it stack up as high as you want to and not take nothing out. But unfortunately for me, I'm not rich and I have to pay bills. So
Yeah.
uh,
Facts.
there's no really. You can ask anyone. Like someone I read on Twitter today, someone took out 30K to pay themselves today for the month. So it's like, it depends on how good you are and um, how you manage your risk and how you manage your money. Because let me tell you something: if you don't manage your risk and manage your money and manage your trades, you won't be able to take nothing out. And you'll lose everything, and you'll have a donut and your a big old zero in your trading whatever platform you use. So if you
Facts.
want to have some type of income, you better know what you're doing. You better manage your risk, because that's what
Yep.
we as traders do, man. We manage money. For you to thrive, for you to create a hedge fund, you have to manage money.
Facts. Okay. I like that. What's one person? This actually be the last question because the other one you already answered earlier. So, what's one person, book, or event that changed the trajectory of your life? And don't say Albert again because I know you might say him because you mentioned him earlier. If you name a person, if you name a person, it could be an event or
Man, so you say like an event
a person, event, or book that changed your life.
that changed my life. Um, I want to say my dad, man. To be honest, in a positive way, only because like he changed my life in a way that he made me realize that like you're gonna have to work hard to
Mm,
to survive in this society that we live in. And he it kind of like that kind of switch flipped when I was like 19, 20. And I saw that he was like making great money, but he was still struggling.
yeah,
And like and as you know today, there's millionaires that live paycheck to paycheck because of
facts.
how their overhead is and how expensive that lifestyle can be. So it's
100%.
like me seeing that changed my life to understand that you could be making great money, but if you don't do certain things to like lower your cost and try to like find different aspects to bring in income passively. Um, and that's why I have I know this has nothing to do with trading, but that's kind of like why I wanted to like get into vending machines. I also have vending machines, and I want to get ATMs, and that's like another great way to like not work your whole life, you know,
Yeah.
you know, because I mean, at some point, yeah, we can be 70, 80, greeting people at Walmart, but you know,
Facts.
we can only work hard for so long. So why not try to like find ways to not wear yourself out so much and be able to live your life when you get a little older, you know?
Facts. 100%. 100%. Make the best of the time when you got it, when you're able to. I like that. Well, this has been a great conversation. I really appreciate you coming on to the podcast and
Yeah.
sharing your knowledge and your experiences. Give everyone like your social medias and stuff if you want to, so they can reach out to you about trading or even the vending machines or even manufacturing engineering.
So I have a Twitch. I game a lot now. My name
Okay.
is Chief Tuka, Tucker, ChiefTucka. My Instagram, I'm not really active on it like that. I have a food page, but I don't want to shout that out because it kind of gives us our location and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, just catch me when you catch me. I'm not a shy person. I'm a social
Yeah.
butterfly. I like to interact with people. And I mean, before we do sign off, I just want y'all to know that if you guys do get involved in the stock market, know yourself. Don't get greedy. If you're up, you better take some out so that when you go back to being red, you don't have to be that red. You can be a little bit green still, and manage your risk. Manage that money because you work hard for that money. Like it's easy to say, oh yeah, like once you make it and you throw 100K or like 10, 15, 25, 30K in a trade and you lose it all and you have that and it doesn't have that much of an impact, but to a lot of people that's a yearly salary. You know, like
Yeah.
I mean, on a daily basis, I spend at least 2K a day. Like I just trade 2K because I'm not trying to like. It's best not to use your entire capital. You just want to, if you have like, for example, 10K, just trade with 1K. You know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
and build up that way because, I'm sure you would rather lose 1K than the whole 10K
Facts.
because at least if you
100%.
do lose that, my bad. At least if you do lose like $300 in that 1K trade, you have 9,700 dollars you still can work with to
Facts.
make that money back. So be smart, man. This is a vicious stock market. It's very hard to trade right now if you don't know what you're doing. Um, and protect your money at all times. That's all I gotta say.
Definitely, man. We appreciate you again for for joining us and sharing your expertise. Everybody, please comment, like, and subscribe. Thank you for joining us on the Unknown Options. Y'all have a nice day.
Thank you for having me, man.